Oh wait, I'll just start talking about the one where they talk about Sesame Street. So it
Okay.
says parents embrace Sesame Street for several reasons, among them that wait, that it I don't know how to say that word, their guilt over the fact that they could not or would not restrict their children's access to television. And then Sesame Street appeared to justify allowing a 4 or 5-year-old to sit transfixed in front of a television screen for unnatural periods of time. And I feel like that whole paragraph that he was talking about Sesame Street, I thought it was a little bit extreme because he was comparing it to like how Sesame Street was meant for children to like television, not to like education. But I don't really agree with that because I feel like Sesame Street, it kind of it's really educational action. I feel like kids can become interested in school because of that. And of course, it's not going to be like an exact representation of what school's like, but you can't really expect children to just like sit and read and write all day and not have like some form of entertainment to teach them things.
Yeah, that's true. And I think like um I kind of well sometimes he was like contradicting, I feel like. I don't know, cuz like at first or like towards the end I was getting the sense that he was saying using TV and like technology in the classroom as an aid is okay, but completely replacing like what you're doing in the classroom with television is not okay. But I don't know if like you guys got that sense, but I got that sense. But then he was like completely saying like TV was not okay. So sometimes I think he's being a little confusing.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, what I got from it was that he thinks that Sesame Street made kids expect school to be fun. They made them expect like the learning to be different than your typical like reading out of a textbook.
Mhm.
Yeah, like what he said on 143 or like Sesame Street and all that, it changed like the how people viewed classrooms from like a highly regarded place to learn to a stale environment.
Yeah. I mean, like I kind of see what he's saying, but then again, I don't think that it's like completely like terrible. I think it actually does help, as you were saying, Camille. Like they could see that education could be fun rather than sitting in a classroom and it be like boring.
Yeah. And then also when you were saying how he contradicted himself, he also later says that like he was talking about an educational philosophy that teaching and entertainment are inseparable. And then he was talking about how a lot of times children learn the best when they're interested in the topic. And I agree with that because even like for me, when I'm more interested into a topic or a teacher's more engaging, I tend to do better in the class. And so I just thought like Sesame Street is like a good way for children to kind of learn things because they tend to find it entertaining.
Yeah.
And I mean, he isn't necessarily wrong. Like, I think it's proven that if you read something or write it versus just watching it, you don't learn it as well. But I feel like the things they teach on Sesame Street, they're really basic, so it doesn't apply to, like, high school.
Yeah, I don't think like yeah, I definitely agree with that. And I mean, when I watch like in the APUSH, for example, when I watch videos on like the periods, I don't really retain the information as much as if I'm like reading the AMSCA. But I think like if you're learning your numbers, I think watching Sesame Street is fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hmm.
And like sometimes you can combine them because like let's say you're reading a memoir about something, there's something that you're not going to be able to get from a video, but at the same time it's really hard for some people to visualize it, so they need that video to see what it would have looked like.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I agree with that.
Um,
Do you want to start talking about your artifacts?
yeah, we can like.
We can
I
come
can
back.
talk about mine. Yeah, we can come back.
Don't
talk
read
about-
don't read what I put for mine because I didn't really know like what to type. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for mine, I found an essay that this parent did about what she thinks on like how TV and technology is affecting her child or just children in general. And she was making like similar points that Postman made. And she was basically saying like I don't think that television is like harmful necessarily, but it can be harmful when like one, the parent doesn't know what the child is watching, so what the child is getting from the television show, and for how long that they're watching it. So if they're watching it for most of like the day, then obviously that's bad. But she's saying it can be used as like a helpful aid, and she also brought up the point that it can show children like other people's cultures. So like you can watch videos of different cultures so that they're more aware. And that's not necessarily something that you can get from like your peers in the classroom all the time.
Yeah, I do agree with that. I forgot to mention too, yeah, because Sesame Street, a lot of times they do like dive into different cultures and other things they do around the world. I feel like that's a really important thing that kids can get from that show. Like you were saying, they might not get it at school as much. So
Yeah,
Like
definitely.
how would you teach a kid about things like that through reading, because they're not really at that
Yeah.
level to understand it.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think
And I
thing is what it teaches. It's like what it like instills into the mind of a child. And like I'm not no.
Yeah.
I can talk
you
about
want to share your okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so my quote is from, I think it was page 155. It was the first page of the last chapter, and I had like a whole little section, but I specifically thought it was really ironic that he said, in the Huxleyan prophecy, Big Brother does not watch us by choice, we watch him by ours. And I just thought that was interesting because obviously in the 80s there wasn't like Big Brother the TV show, but so it was like a metaphorical thing, but now there literally is a Big Brother TV show that people do watch.
Yeah.
Like there's
Yeah.
I was reading about it, and there's like over 500 seasons, or almost 500 seasons in 50 countries, and some of them are like a year long. Like there's people that were filmed for a whole entire year. And it's honestly kind of ridiculous because it is entertaining, but you'll be sitting there watching people fighting about like who's gonna clean the room or the bathroom, and it's it's just it's ridiculous that
Yeah.
people watch it. And then I also thought it was interesting in the first part of the quote that I got, he said that the Huxleyan prophecy was in a world where people are surrounded by technology, they start to act however. And I thought if he thought there was a lot of technology in the 80s, what would he say about now? Because we have way more now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I thought it was like funny how it was page 161, and he was talking about like solutions, and he said he started talking about creating television programs that would like get people to stop watching television, and like show how television should be viewed. But then he said the demonstrations would probably be forms of parody. And I was like, that's entertainment. Like you just crush like entertainment talking about how bad it was and how he doesn't really agree with it. But one of his like possible solutions that he thought of was to make parodies about how bad it
Yeah.
was. So
And he
I
also,
don't know, that just didn't make sense.
I know. I also saved that quote too because, like, I feel like although he believes all these things in the book, he knows that our society is kind of too far gone to go back to how it used to be. So his solution was really ironic, but yeah, like our society, we can't go back and just like to how it was. So in order to stop or lessen the amount of television we'd watch, we'd have to make a television show or a movie about like how bad it can be for you or how like much misinformation is spread through television.
and
Yeah.
like after that, doesn't he talk about how it'll just like go in a circle, then the parody would just become like any other TV show or something?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember reading something like that. I
And
don't know. A
maybe
lot of times I feel it. Go ahead.
maybe you should just go live with the Amish, honestly. That's probably like his dream world.
Yeah. I don't know. Sometimes I don't think he's being realistic. Like realistically, like you said, Camille, we can't go back. Like it's just not gonna happen. So
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that.
And I feel like everything has drawbacks, but also positives. So, someone could make the same argument as him, except why it's like technology has been so good for people. So, really, as long as you
yeah.
have evidence, you could argue anything.
Yeah.
And I don't know, maybe now, like if he was alive now, he would see more of the positives because technology really does like help. So maybe if he was like alive now, he could see more of the positives. But maybe there weren't as many positives that he could see because he was more focused on how much time had changed and stuff.
Mm. Yeah.
Wait, so what do you, what's the solution on page 163? Like the last paragraph? Was it
Yeah.
the solution just to start asking questions and all that?
Let me see. Because he said like there's the one nonsensical answer was the one that Maya had the quote for, but let me see the other one.
You said the last paragraph on 163?
Yeah.
I guess like he was like the last sentence, how he was saying they were laughing instead of thinking, but were not that they were laughing instead of thinking, but that they did not know what they were laughing about and why they had stopped thinking. So maybe just like to have more awareness about what you're watching and then like how it impacts you or something.
Yeah.
Because like they don't even realize that they stop thinking about things. Like they just rely on the television and stuff, the media for information, but they don't even realize it in the end.
Yes.
Yeah, because there isn't really any way to solve it because you can't like remove it or ban it. So
Yeah, I think that's why like I don't think he didn't have like a hard set like solution because there really isn't one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And he also said like this book might not even like have an impact on anything. Like, it's most likely not going to have an impact on anybody because, like, you can't fix it now. But
Yeah.
yeah.
I wonder how he like if he actually did. There was like a part where he was saying how it was ironic to promote his book he would have to go on television or something. I wonder if he actually like advertised it that way.
Yeah.
Like, I wonder how he
Yeah.
advertised his book.
Yeah, because there'd be, I don't know what other way he would. Like,
Like
But, like,
posters.
yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if anyone read this book and thought, wow, what a good book.
Yeah.
The review on the back said,
I don't know. We've like torn this book apart. I don't know what else things to talk about.
do you guys want to start thinking of questions?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
We could do something about the education. So
we could say, like, would education be as effective if they didn't have like some aspects of entertainment?
AIDS, like like AIDS of television and stuff like that. Yeah. I think that's a good one.
I'm just trying to think of a name. So the name for meeting 3 had to do something with the meeting.
Yeah.
I know, finally.
Honestly, this book was just like a ton of filler.
Yeah, and he used like a lot of
Definitely.
history, like historical
Yeah.
references.
Like he actually starts talking about what he sees as the problems of today, like the last 3 chapters.
Yeah, it wasn't even, it was like a history lesson.
Oh, I just looked at the template and it says like the meeting name has to be related to the chapters that you read. So like,
yeah, but like they're not all the same thing.
yeah, I know, different. We can just like,
I don't know if it matters, does it?
I don't know, like the first meeting name is fine. Like,
Okay, I'll just do Huxleyan prophecy.
Wait, does meeting 2 have a name?
No,
No, I haven't named it. I'll think of something.
Okay.
Let me just see what the last chapter was called.
All right. Now the second question. Could we just put like what does Postman introduce as a solution? I don't know.
Are his like solutions logic like
Yeah, we can do that.
realistic or something like
Yeah,
that?
that's good.
Oh, it's the one.
You guys think we're gonna actually have school?
I don't know.
Probably
I don't know.
I doubt it.
I would think not to.
because
Yeah.
colleges are already thinking about making the fall semester online.
Oh my gosh.
It's gonna be a mess.
It sucks.
Literally, such a mess.
And even if we have school, they're not gonna be like, okay, you're getting grades now. No. It's
Yeah,
already too late for them.
that's what's so stupid about this. They should just
Yeah.
fourth quarter pass or fail already.
Didn't they already do that though? Isn't it pass or fail?
I think for like seniors definitely, but for us, I think it's still like in question.
like
Which
the
they need to just.
that we go
Hmm?
back, it becomes a grades go again. I think.
But I don't know. It
That's
wouldn't.
so
It
dumb.
wouldn't make
I don't
sense.
think it will.
We've already missed so many grades. Like they can't use the 5 grades we have to, give us an average.
Yeah, I don't know what Wake County is thinking.
Yeah, if we go back to school, they better not put us back on a grade scale because it's gonna be too close to the end of the year.
Yeah.
What I don't
They
get is
already aren't taking grades.
I think remember the thing we had to read? It was the about grading, and one of the things about how parents like they don't even need to be acknowledged when it comes to school because they're always talking a bunch of like things that don't make sense. Like around these AP exams, I've read so many stupid comments. Like and it was obviously parents. Like someone said that our AP grade, like for the test, should be based on our grade in the class. So if you have an A, it's a 5. You have a B, it's a 4.
Oh my god.
But like, what if you have one test grade in? Does that mean that you deserve a 3 on the final? Or they were saying we shouldn't have AP tests, but the thing is, it's optional. Like, if your kid didn't go to school and they don't know the stuff, no one's making them take it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Why do they have
Yeah.
to ruin it for people that do want to take it? Because I think it should be easy. It's a question that you can literally look up the answer.
Yeah. I'm really hoping this AP Lang thing, like the AP exam, I'm hoping it's rhetorical analysis.
It is going to be rhetorical.
It is.
It is?
I'm
Oh,
still at rhetorical
God.
analysis.
Yeah, they said it's going to be.
I wish it wasn't. I don't like rhetorical analysis.
Yeah, that's the hardest one.
I'd rather do the synthesis.
Yeah, me too. Even though we didn't even learn it, I feel like that'd be so much easier.
Yeah, like it's like a push.
Yeah. Should we start talking about the podcast so we know what
Yeah.
we're doing?
Because it's a lot of things to talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me see. Let me go to the document.
Wait, where does he put like what we need for the podcast?
It's on class updates, that
Yeah.
document.
Expectations of the podcast.
Okay. How do you make this like creative? It's
Art-
like it's talking.
Do you want me to like make a copy of this document and then we can like put ideas under each of the questions?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's do that.
So,
So really, I don't think it's supposed to be a podcast because a podcast you just kind of talk. But I feel like if you're answering questions, then it definitely has to be scripted because
Yeah.
he wants quotes and direct evidence.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
probably the best idea would be to record ourselves answering the questions like individually
Yeah.
and then putting it together and like putting pictures.
Yeah.
I don't know if because otherwise no one like who wants to listen to just 10 minutes of
Yeah.
Okay, I should.
Okay.
Yeah, so maybe we could just start working on the script, I guess. Like for each of the questions.
yeah like well
Yeah.
I think we should assign like who's gonna work on what
Okay.
and then obviously
Well, I
like the
think
last thing it's personal so
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Did you guys attend your Socratic seminars?
Yeah.
Uh,
what was that?
I slept past my.
Oh,
Oh wait, the things on Friday.
Yeah.
I had an A+ thing, so I couldn't even like do it.
I didn't even talk because everyone kept saying what I was gonna say, so I would have sounded
Yeah. I feel bad because Kate and like the rest were so into it.
I just yeah. I read it and stuff, but
I can do. Well, there's 6 is kind of like out a little because
Yeah, like everyone's gonna do 6, obviously.
yeah, I could do 3,
okay.
and then another one if I have to do another.
Let's see.
We could easily like record ourselves and make a video because I don't think it necessarily has to be like a typical podcast. I'm just concerned like what software I would use for it
Yeah.
because I can use like
think-
Adobe at school, but obviously I don't have that at home. So
Well, he said he put things on here like Podbean.
yeah, but are they all like just regular podcast things? Because then it would just be us talking.
That's fine though. Because I think he'd be fine with that. If we don't have pictures and stuff. So we could even do a Zoom meeting and then have our questions answered and you just record it and we'll just talk.
But I feel like that's so. I don't know. I feel like it'll be bad. Because what
Yeah,
if we don't know what to say and it just.
we can think of a script. It might be easier that way because it could be hard to piece all the individual questions together and make it coherent.
Yeah, how does he expect us to do this? I'm actually kind of confused. It would be easier if we could meet up, but we obviously can't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think the reason he said podcast is just because we can't be together, but he said it was supposed to be a video originally, which I don't see how you can't do a video when you're not together because it's all online.
It should just be this, but we just talk about the whole book.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So are we doing it on voice memos and we record it and then we all put it together?
Yeah, well, okay, what my idea would be is if we just record ourselves answering the question, just the audio, and then I can always think of some kind of footage to put in there. Maybe I can do a whiteboard or something.
Oh, to put a visual to what we're talking about. I
Yeah.
know what you're saying, but I don't know what I don't.
Because I have a camera and I can just. Because I think if we just recorded ourselves, it would be really. I don't know. Do you guys just want to do that?
Yeah, I mean, I would be like, okay, just like, you're talking about like the audio, just answering the question.
Yeah, and then we
And
can all put
then,
it together and I can like think of some kind of footage to put so it's a little more interesting.
yeah, I'm pretty sure you feel like on iMovie if you have like, maybe like
Yeah,
a voiceover type of thing.
like there's definitely like some kind of free things I could use. And you said
Yeah,
it's Friday, right?
yeah,
I-
I'm pretty sure.
Wait, I can do the first one and then a part of the second one if you want.
Which first part?
Or the
Like
first
first
question. Yeah. And then I could just add some quotes.
Okay.
Isn't like the main claim and the central argument, isn't that kind of the same thing? Or does he is that
Yeah.
make things?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're very similar.
Yeah.
I mean, I can do whatever's left. I don't really care.
Right. Yeah. Who wants to research like background information on the writer?
I can do that.
Okay.
I can do number 5 and then for number 3, like the last part, how the book is influential, and then someone else can just focus on if it's relevant in the 21st century.
Okay.
And then someone else can do 4. And I think 1 and 2, you can like easily make that into one thing.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so. Because I think they're like talking about the same thing.
Yeah, you don't have to have like, like lots of examples.
Yeah. That works. Okay, I'll put your name next to those.
And then obviously
Alright.
number 6 we're all gonna do.
Yeah, well, I'll do that. So we're just like doing like voice memos and just answering our questions.
Yeah, I think that should be fine. And then we can
Okay.
put them together.
Okay. I think like we should all have it recorded by like either tomorrow or like on Wednesday, like afternoon, morning,
I
just so
think,
then we have enough time to make sure like
yeah.
our thing is good.
Okay. Yeah.
And then I think we all need to upload the writing we did on the website.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
I still have to do my best comment from the last one.
I didn't publish it yet, so
Okay.
I haven't done mine either.
Yeah. I forgot everything. So we're just supposed to like we're supposed to put all of them? There's 6, right?
Yeah. He said
Okay.
6 total. I think I have more though. But the least amount was 6.
for the journal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I
Pretty
did
sure I
mine
have
on.
like 8.
Yeah, because the first section.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. I think this meeting's about to end because it says less than a minute. Because it had like a 40-minute time thing on it. Because we have
So
3 people.
But I think, didn't the meeting include talking about the podcast? Because if it didn't, we definitely don't have that much to discuss.
Yeah, no, I'm saying like the Zoom meeting says
Yeah.
less than a minute.
It's at 1 minute right now.
And then I
I'm
was
pretty
kind of
sure.
confused. So we're supposed to be writing an FRQ not for tomorrow but for Wednesday because we're third period.
Did he give us it?
It's on the calendar.
Okay.
Okay, so it's
Oh, I forgot about that.
we're supposed to have it done tomorrow.
Oh.
Unit 1
Yes,
FRQ.
I forgot.
I think the meeting's about to cut off.
Yeah, I think the FRQ is on his website, and then we're reviewing it on Thursday.
Dang, I forgot about that.
And then he said we're supposed to answer like a Google form if we want the discussion about, I think, the writing to be on Friday or next week.